How's it, guys? This is Davey, FPL, and welcome back to the Deadline with Davey live stream. This one's going to be a bit unique. It's going to be on Friday evening with only one game coming up tonight. And of course, it is Boxing Day, so Merry Christmas if you guys do celebrate it. Otherwise, hopefully, this festive period has been enjoyable with family or not. And we are back into the swing of things with FPL. So that can either be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. For our team, it's not been the best thing. Unfortunately, Red Arrow last week didn't stream. I was away. I do apologize for that one. But Red Arrow last week, let's just hope game week 18 we can bounce back, but with a -4 potentially, don't exactly know how easy that's going to be. So at least there's going to be a ton of games happening in the next 2 weeks. I think it's kind of a weekend deadline, midweek deadline for the next 4 game weeks or so. So a lot of space can be made up in a short period of time. We just have to be on the receiving end of some good luck. So hopefully you guys have been doing well. As you can see, I have made a few transfers. If you guys didn't see my team selection released earlier, was a bit naughty over Christmas. I did Declan Rice in for Saka as well as Ekitike in for Thiago a few days ago. Then, as you know, Bruno Fernandes ends up getting injured. I will say, though, I couldn't do Bruno to Cunha and then Thiago to Ekitike, so I don't really regret the transfer I did. I guess I could have done Declan Rice in with Saka in my midfield. Don't really know if I want to double up, though, on that Arsenal midfield, so I don't regret it, but obviously a -4 isn't super optimal. So let me know how your guys' Christmas or festive period has been, as well as if the audio and the video do look and sound okay. As mentioned, it's been about 2 game weeks since we did one of these streams, but happy to get back into it and see what you guys have to say. So luckily I can see the first question this week. It's, would you take a -4 so that you have 15 players on bench boost? Wilson and Richards in my team with 1 free transfer, or delay it and play it next week. Okay, so Richards looks like he's going to miss this week, so he's out. Wilson is a doubt, but he could still play. The -4, basically what you have to do is do a little bit of a calculation yourself, see how many points you think your bench will score this week with the -4 minused, and then look at your team next week and then just see how it looks. I think this week is probably the week that you want to try and do it, just because the fixtures look pretty good. But I don't like taking a -4, especially if they're going to be for cheap options that don't have good fixtures. Would you transfer in Harry Wilson or Lafie for bench boost this week? So unfortunately, because of Harry Wilson's doubt, I can't really recommend buying him. So I would have to say Lafie, especially if you're going to be bench boosting this week. Devin saying, Merry Christmas, Upaga. Right back at you, Devin. Hopefully it was a good one. Sound and video, Gucci, brother. Thanks for that one. We also have 1 free transfer, 2.6. You've listed your squad. What should I do? The team looks okay from what I can see. I don't think you have to make a transfer. I think maybe if you want to upgrade Anderson, but otherwise your team looks okay. So I don't think you have to use that 1 free transfer unless you want to sell Senesi to someone like a Michael Keane. But because you don't have Thiago, and a lot of people have been asking me this, they're saying, should I use an additional transfer on Senesi out? But because you don't have Thiago, I would just try and back the fact that Bournemouth keep a clean sheet. So that's what I would try and do. But it's obviously quite team dependent. I just want to put the fan on. I do apologize. It's quite hot here in SA. As well as if you guys can hear any background noise, it's raining at the moment. So I do apologize for that one. I don't think you can hear it hectically, but just let me know if it becomes a problem and I'll try and sort some sound settings out. Sean says, hope you had a good Christmas. I did. That was pretty good. Start Hincapie or Bruno G if I already have Timber. I would probably always favor maybe an attacker here. I don't think United are necessarily that great defensively. Maybe wait and see. I know that he was benched a few weeks ago, but I think that was just a rest. I would probably go Bruno G over Hincapie, but that's just more of a like ceiling floor sort of play. I think Hincapie is probably the safer option, but sort of a lower ceiling there. But I think I would just go for Bruno G. Also, you have someone playing tonight, which makes it a bit more exciting. Keane and Lafie for Hincapie and KDH from -8 and bench boost, worth it. That is a bit hectic to do a -8 just to bench boost. You're almost in the territory where you could just burn it or use it next week instead. Because a -8 is basically what your entire bench might score. For example, my entire bench scored 8 points last time. So it is a bit tough to do a -8. I just think that maybe if you look at next week, if you're going to use it next week, but then it's going to be transfers that you could use for other options. So maybe look at your transfer plan next week. If you want to take an outfield player rather next week, then I would just do the -8 this week to get out the way. Otherwise, maybe try and postpone it. Mob, just let me know if you don't understand what I'm saying there. Should I start Thiel or Minte? If you have Arsenal defenders, you go for Thiel. Otherwise, go for Minte. For example, if you only have one Arsenal defender, most people have the double up. I can't see Brighton scoring, and Minte also hasn't been that great. But yeah. Also got Bruno either moving to Cunha, Wirtz, or McAllister. Yeah, so similar with me. I think it depends on what you want to do next week. So for my team, Semenyo to Szoboszlai looks pretty on. So I think that leads a little bit towards Cunha maybe this week. But if you don't want to do Szoboszlai next week, then I think Wirtz this week looks pretty good. I get the McAllister pick, but I don't know if I back it 100%. Take a -4 for Cunha or start Klein against Tottenham. I guess it's a similar situation that I'm in. I'm taking a -4. I guess I could just play Rodon. I think it's worth it because I probably want him next week anyways. So let's just take a shot this week. And the nice thing about Cunha, and I said this in the team selection, is that he really is sort of a selfish player. And I don't mean that as like a criticism. It's just the fact that he always takes on a shot. So basically you're guaranteeing that he's going to get chances. And that's the beauty of Cunha in FPL. And that's why I don't mind kind of going from, even if you do consider like Newcastle to be a bit of a tougher fixture. Let me just get back to the chat here. Okay, cool. So Ty the Footy Guy has been a member for 46 months. I do appreciate that, brother. The insane nearly 4 years support. So hopefully you've enjoyed your stay. Do apologize, the season hasn't been the great, but as a 4-year supporter, you probably know that it's been pretty good averages. So do appreciate the continued support, and hopefully it's going to be continued into that 4-year mark. Absolutely insane, Ty. Thanks, I do appreciate it. Rate my team. Okay, so your team looks okay. And suggestions. So I can't say any suggestions because I don't know how many transfers you have, brother. So if you want to post your transfers and your budget, then I can give you a bit more insight. But otherwise, the team does look fine. Rafa is a TV saying, should I do Alderete for Richards from -8 to bench boost starting all 15 players? Okay, so you're saying, should I get Alderete for Richards? It's a -8 for your bench boost, but it's not a -8, it's just another -4. It's okay, but as I was saying, next week, it seems like the bench boost is more of an annoyance now. So if you want to take a -8 to get rid of it, you can. But and I would only do that if you want to make other transfers next week. So for example, let's take my team. Let's say next week I want to use my 1 free transfer on Semenyo to Szoboszlai. Then I would just get rid of my bench boost this week. But if you don't want to do Szoboszlai next week, then you can maybe do a bench transfer. Then it's probably worth postponing it because it's going to be 4 points worth of sort of extra bench boost you can get. So that's what I would just debate on that side. So maybe tell me your next week transfers, Rafa and Rez, and I can help you out a bit there. Tyler Friga saying, hey Davey, stuck on the Kamsi decision between Erling Haaland and Ekatike. And Milos is also asking the exact same question. So it seems like the Kamsi debate this week is a little bit of a tough one. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to post a poll. I just want to see where you guys are kind of leaning towards. I think it's probably between 2 players. I'm just going to say /Liverpool in case you guys want to captain a Wirtz. And then let's just say other. Okay, I'll start this poll and then you guys can give me your insights into what you are doing. But at the moment, I feel like it's quite close between them. The only thing I don't like is the fact that Ekatike probably isn't on penalties. I don't think we know 100% that he's not, but I would probably say someone like a McAllister's higher in the order. I just feel like even though it's a small thing and it's a 1 game week sample, so who knows if they even get a penalty, I just like a few more avenues for points from my captain. And that's why I think Haaland at the moment is a bit safer. And also because I do own Phil Foden as well, I'm almost hoping that Man City do well. It could kind of be Foden as a cover or Foden as an addition. And I'm treating Foden as an addition this week. I think it is close between them. At my rank, you probably say, why am I not punting it? And that could be true, but I think that there's also sort of safety in going for a known goal scorer, which Haaland seems to be on pretty good form. What's my FPL ID? Let me get it for you here. So there we go. That's my FPL ID. Bossy beast. Is McAllister likely to play in front of a diamond or play deeper? Angelo, I always see him as a deeper role. I think if there was going to be someone that plays a bit higher, maybe we're going to see Wirtz in the 10 if Gakpo's fit. I don't exactly know. And also depends on if Slot's going to play Frimpong as our right back, because that then moves Curtis Jones, who will probably play more high. So it all depends on the lineup. But I don't see McAllister playing as a more attacker or as like the top of the diamond. What you're kind of going for with him is that you're going for maybe DEFCON, should be on penalties, even though it's a 1 game week sample, because Soboslai comes back next week, and potential, it's a good fixture. I think I'll risk playing Wilson and just transferred Richards, only have 4.6. Who do you suggest? Do you have Anderson already? If you don't have Anderson, the barrel is a little bit low, but I would probably just say go for a Sunderland option then. They're a pretty good fixture this week. I can see a clean sheet potentially. Unless you do believe in Calvert-Lewin and his absolute insane form at the moment. But that's probably what I would say. I'd probably say one of the Sunderland assets are quite cheap. And that's how I would look at. Otherwise, Anderson if you don't own. But I'm pretty sure you probably do own him. So I think that's probably where I would look. Paniotis is saying, hello Davey and Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you. I do appreciate it, to yours as well. Hopefully it was a good one. And no question, just simply saying that. So I do appreciate that, Paniotis. Cunha or Rogers? For me, it's Cunha. I think Rogers' fixtures are a little bit tough coming up. Luca is saying, would you rather play Anderson or Anderson? I have a problem there, including that I think that Anderson is most likely to hit 4 points. So if he's most likely to hit 4 points, I think you've answered your question already. And yeah, I guess it just depends on if you think he's going to pick up a yellow, but I do agree, probably going to rack up the DEFCON points. And therefore, I think there's an odd chance of an attacking return, whereas Anderson, I don't really see him as much of a threat off those set pieces. Frankie Floke, let me do a freer team for you because someone did ask me that in Discord. So if it's the same, Frankie, if it is you, otherwise you're just lucky that I did say I'll make one on the stream on Discord. So let's go over a freer draft quickly. So I think this week there's a lot of risk appetite that you can go for. Let me just make some rotation options here. I think that I would go for Wirtz and I would go for Ekatike as my front two. I think that's pretty sort of no-brainer. The rain is getting a bit tougher, or a bit harder, so I do apologize, guys, if you do hear anything in the background. So this is where the risk kind of comes in, because Liverpool definitely have the best fixture. So you could say, listen, instead of Virgil, because he might be a bit boring, as a centre-back, you can go for Frimpong. So there's a chance that Frimpong could play right wing. For how long, who knows, but there is a chance. So let's just put Frimpong in here. He could start right back, could start right wing, who knows. But it's a punt. It's a punt on a free hit. So let's go for them. Then I think Michael Keane, I would go for, this might be out there, but I might even go for a triple up in that defense. This is very sort of risky though. I know that this might not be what you want to look at. So let's just go for Raya for now. Otherwise, I think some people might be asking too many questions. So the thing I like about Tarkowski and Keane is that they both offer that attacking threat. I know a player like a Timber could also offer it, but if he plays centre-back, who knows? But Timber could be here, or you could go for Pickford and Timber. But I think your back three is probably a Liverpool asset, and then 2 Everton ones and 1 Arsenal. In terms of other fixtures to potentially target, I think Haaland would be a... Now you can select Foden if you think there's going to be sort of high points, but otherwise you could go someone different. I still feel like I might kind of go for potential, maybe like someone that plays tonight, like a Cunha. The separate fixtures aren't super high value this week. I think I would still have Saka if you can afford him, but now you're going to see that we don't have the most value in the bank, but it's okay because we can downgrade someone like a Bruno Fernandes. This is where you're probably like your Lefi comes in as a 4.9. We can handle the rest of the budget shortly. So this would probably be what you look at, but I think I might still go for some slightly different players. I'm trying to look here who else has a pretty good fixture, but the other fixtures aren't particularly high. I mean, like Crystal Palace do face Spurs who don't have Romero. That could be a punt. I mean, West Ham, Fulham playing each other. Sunderland, Leeds. I mean, there could be some options there, but I think this is... I don't think you have to go super out there. This is probably what I would say. I think Foden is where you guys could punt. If you don't want to go for Foden, there's someone else that you go for. But I think the defense kind of picks itself. You're going to go for Haaland, Ekitike. This midfield 5 also looks pretty decent. I think this is probably what I would look at. No worries, got to shoot early. Thank you for becoming a member for 29 months. The continued support is insane from some of you guys. Do appreciate it. And don't worry, hopefully you have a great New Year's if I don't see you again. What's my plan today? So I'll leave this free draft just up for a little bit longer in case you guys do want to go over it. But and just a reminder, please, you guys have to use your chips before game week 20. So game week 19 is the last week to use it. I've had some more people in my personal life that I've taken a look at, some of my friends, where they have all 3 chips and only 2 weeks left. So yeah, make sure that you guys use all your chips before game week 20. Otherwise, you're going to lose them. And just remember, we have double up of chips. So we have a full set that will be available next year. What's the plan for Bruno? So my plan for Bruno is probably Cunha, as well as Roy is asking, what's your plan? So that is also going to be my plan. No, man, Paniotis, you don't have to say sorry because you didn't ask a question. I actually appreciate it. I do appreciate you coming with the nice wishes, but you have asked a question above that, and you said, I'll be free hitting next week and bench boosting this week. Would you take a -4 to replace Richards for Dalot? I do not have enough funds to get Keane. How about Fofana or Vandenberg instead? Okay, so Paniotis, can you afford... I don't even think you have to afford those higher options. I think that you can go for someone like a Mukiele or an Alderete who play for Sunderland. I think that's what I would go for. I don't think the fixtures are that great for these other teams. So I think I would just go Sunderland and go cheap. Zakia is asking, says, hi Davey, I've Virgil van Dijk, Timber, Riley, Mukiele, Anderson starting 4, benching Minte. Who would you bench from the 5? Okay, so I would play Virgil van Dijk, Timber, Riley, Mukiele, and I would bench Anderson, probably. That's who I would say. Who should I triple captain? I mean, triple captaining. Let's see if next week we have any other potentials. Okay, so it's basically Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland as Sunderland next week. I don't know if that's actually a great captaincy option. You could captain Erling Haaland this week, or what you could do is you could captain Ekitike this week, or you could captain Cunha next week, because Cunha plays Wolves. So out of those 3, you could go for any of them, even Ekitike against Leeds, but I don't know. So that's a tough one. I would probably say you can put on Erling Haaland any of these next 2 weeks. In terms of projected points, what I can do is I can try and give you a great option. So actually, in terms of projected points, Cunha is the highest next week. So I don't know if that reads into anything that you say, but Cunha next week could be a play. Otherwise, Erling Haaland is pretty consistent. This week, Erling Haaland has the highest for sort of projected points. Is this your team? No, this is not my team. This is a freer team. So I'm going to probably take it off chat now because it's going to add too much confusion. We can always come back to it. This is my team. So I've made 2 transfers. I've got 0 in the bank for free transfers. And I'm probably going to do Bruno to Cunha from -4. That's my team. So team refresh, made 2 free transfers, did them early before Bruno got injured. And therefore, I'm probably going to do Bruno to Cunha from -4. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go shortly onto the projected points, just so that we can wrap that up pretty quickly. I can also check Twitter with only 1 fixture tonight. I doubt we get any early team sheet news. Yeah, I don't see anything at the moment. So we can go on to projected points fairly shortly. The last thing I want to do is quickly go over the polls. So you can see here that definitely Erling Haaland is going to have very high effective ownership, 72%. We have Ekatike slash Liverpool on 28%, so very still differential if you guys do want to go there. And 1% on other. I wonder who that sort of 1% is. That is quite an out there punt. Let's go on to the projected points. We have had some very high movements. So the one that's the most concerning for me has been Liverpool. So Liverpool's movement has been down quite a bit. So I think they were sort of tracking at about 0.7 or 2.7, apologies. And they've now dropped to about 2.5. So pretty big shift there in the sort of odds on Liverpool. And I think that's just because of the injuries. So a few injuries in the forward department, not looking that great. So Liverpool's projections have come down. And the other two fixtures of target are going to be Man City as well as Arsenal. Chelsea's also not looking too bad, 1.8. If you guys do want to punt on like a Cole Palmer, probably wouldn't go there yet. Man United's projections for Newcastle not the highest, 1.55. In terms of clean sheets, Liverpool at the top there, 45%. Let's just hope that Virgil van Dijk finally keeps that clean sheet we've been chasing. Otherwise, Arsenal ever consistent, 42%. And then we have a little bit of a drop off to Everton at 38%. So definitely those top defenses, Arsenal, Everton, Liverpool, and then Man City also come in at around 34%. So if you guys have seen my back line, the projections also look pretty good. Someone like a Lacroix, 32%. How is Xavi Simon's red card going to affect them? But yeah, let's just hope for a pretty good game week. If you guys are tempted, Ekatike definitely the punt probably this week for Kamsi. Otherwise, Erling Haaland at 2 goals. Probably majority of goal share also looking pretty decent there. I think next week's going to be quite interesting. I mean, I don't really know why. If you're going to captain Cunha next week, I know Sunderland are probably a pretty okay defense. But I think Nottingham Forest have also improved. So if you're going to captain Cunha next week, why are you not captaining Ekatike this week? That's probably the question that I would have for myself even. If I'm going to captain Cunha next week, should I just punt on Ekatike this week? Let's just check the actual sort of schedule here in terms of fixtures. Can we manage to avoid the Man City game? So Man City are the first kickoff at 2:30. Could we potentially try and not watch that game and escape the Erling Haaland captains? I don't know. Definitely something that I'm considering. Don't exactly know if I will be going for Ekatike though. 0008 has been a member for 8 months. Do appreciate the continued support. You want to stay with the 244, yeah, the 442 Gregory. I will be sticking with that. I don't think I'm going to play Mint here. I just don't know. I haven't seen enough out of Brighton as well as Mint as a whole for me to kind of trust him with the sort of placement. And the projected points are pretty consistent as well. Mukiele or Anderson, Leonardo da Vinci. Let me go and check projected points because I think that's a little bit of a tough one. I think Anderson was on about 3.9. Okay, so Anderson. Okay, let me just swap this around. Anderson is on 4 now. Okay, so that's not too bad. And then Mukiele. Okay, so take this. Mukiele and Anderson are both on 4. So I mean, kind of do with that what you will. Yeah, it's okay. Both of them should get the same points. It's tough. I would just look at your mini league then, and rather just go for a player that's more differential. Zakia has been a legend member for 40 months. As you said, the big 40. I've sent you an email in terms of career in SA or the best. Okay, cool. I'll check that out for you. Did you send it to the business email? I do apologize. I don't check that one often. So I will take a look at that one for you, Zakia. Just let me know if it was the business email. Thanks a lot. Connor's saying, hope you had a nice Christmas. I did. I am a bit heavier today. Let's just say that. I've got Richards instead of Lacroix. Got an injury. Would you play Rodon or Mint? I'd play Rodon, Connor. Rodon's projection's also pretty okay. So I'm very comfortable actually playing Rodon if you guys do want to go there. And it's something that I'm debating. It's do I play Rodon or do I just go for Cunha? I think I'm going to go for Cunha though. I think he has a sort of high projection this week that could pay off. And I probably want him next week anyways. So, okay, cool. Thanks, Aki. I'll take a look at it and get back to you. Thanks for just the reminder there, and thanks for the big 40. Which team's target for a wild card? Okay, so team's target for a wild card, Liverpool. So you're going to already get Ekitike. I think I would still go for Arsenal double up in defense, but you can switch Saka out if you don't want him. I think I would go for United. You can maybe punt on United, go for someone like a Diego Dalot, like we've mentioned. Man City are ever reliable. I'd probably have an O'Reilly there. Man City's fixtures are okay coming up. And then I think that you can also probably go for a 3 up front. Go for Bowen. Bowen has some good fixtures as well. So I think that you can actually do a nice little punt there. You can go for a 3-4-3 formation. Bowen, Ekitike, Haaland up front. Then you can go for a backline that you want. Also Everton. Remember Everton, Michael Keane, probably your cheap enabler. And those are the teams that I would target. Play 1, Rodon or Minte. I'd probably go Rodon because he's probably going to get those DEFCON points potentially. What overall rank would you be happy at the end of the season? I think the majority of the ranks are going to be quite tough, but I probably would say within the top 100k, which is going to be tough. But I would say let's just see how we go in the second half of the season, and it's something that I can say now might change in the future. So if we do super well, maybe top 500k is not really a target anymore. Maybe it's top 100k. So let's see how the future game weeks go. But I would probably say I always would take a top 100k finish. Top 10k is always good, but top 100k is what I try and aim for. And we've actually done that previously, but this year is going to be very tough to get there. So coming from 1.9 million, I think as long as we're in the top 1 million, it's going to be okay, but probably still a bad season. Casemiro, good shout. I don't really see the Casemiro punt. Watch him go and score a Hattie now, but I don't really see that as a great option. It's probably similar to McAllister, but McAllister's a bit better because better fixtures as well as penalties. I don't really know with these sort of players. Any chance Hincapie and Wilson start? Yeah, there's a chance for both of them. I don't know what the chance is in terms of percent, but definitely a chance that both of them do play. Thoughts on Curtis Jones as a punt? Seems locked in. Yeah, potentially, but I don't know. I don't know about Curtis Jones from a sort of attacking output. I think he might be utilized a bit more defensively in terms of right back if Frimpong's not ready to start. So I don't know if I'm too keen on that one. What's the plan today? The plan today is probably Bruno out for Cunha from -4 hit. But we do have about 28 minutes left to lock that in. Option from midfield around 5.9. Initially just Paqueta because Paqueta is 5.9 on the dot, I think. So it's a bit tough at that price bracket, but I would probably say Paqueta at the moment is the one that springs to mind. Let me go and check who also is around that price bracket. Yeah, so Paqueta's I think the best one. Otherwise, Anderson's okay. I know the fixture this week is a bit scary, but probably 4 points. We've mentioned Lafie. If you want to go super cheap, you can go for him. Otherwise, I mean, like a Tielemans is there, but I would just probably say Paqueta because there's some good fixtures coming up. I think I like him the most out of all those selections. Why not Verts / Soboslai this week and Cunha next week? Okay, so Soboslai is suspended this week, so you can't get him in. And the reason I like Cunha is I could go for Verts, but I do get a bit more value out of going for Soboslai next week. So, and I think that actually United could do well against Newcastle. That's the only reason why I think it actually is okay. Why a -4? What transfers have you already made? So JoJo's Revenge, I did Saka to Rice, and I did Saka to Rice, and I did Thiago to Ekitike on Sunday, which was before Bruno played on Monday. So those are the two transfers I made. With bad Liverpool fixtures, they don't have bad Liverpool fixtures. They have pretty good ones still. Soboslai to Cunha for a hit. That's tough because Matt, you probably want Soboslai next week. If you're not going to take Soboslai next week or things like that, then it's okay. But yeah, if you can just bench him this week, it might be okay. It just depends on how many points you think Cunha, I guess, scores this week. Best 6.7 mid to complete my free hit. Okay, 6.7. We've mentioned some already, but we can increase the price bracket slightly there for you. I mean, Enzo's there. Grealish is there against Burnley. That's a pretty okay game. That's probably the one I might punt on. I might punt on Grealish this week because of that better fixture. Otherwise, like a Lucas Paqueta is also good. Yeah, I think Grealish might be exciting though. It's just how good you think that defense is going to be. Daniel is saying, hey, need your help. Okay, but you didn't post the second question, so I will await your second question there, Daniel. I have 4 free transfers on the bench boost. What should I do? Okay. Okay, so you said Thiago, Saka, KDH, Cash, and Petrovic. Okay, that's more than 4. I would probably say leave the if you're taking a hit for Petrovic to Alisson, rather leave that. The first 4 transfers do look okay though. I don't mind those ones. Anderson to O'Reilly with my last free transfer or roll. So Anderson's fixtures don't get easier, but he's okay to hold. I would probably say with the fact that O'Reilly might get like 1 game off, I think it might be fine to just go without him. Let me just take a look here. Yeah, I think it's fine to just keep Anderson and just roll the transfer then. Is it worth taking a -4? Depends on who. So for me, I think it might be worth it because I want Cunha for the future anyways. I do feel like the hit will pay off in the future game weeks. Okay, yeah, we've had enough of the sort of projected clean sheets and such. So let's go back to the team. And then you guys should be able to see my team. So this is without the Bruno transfer. Because they played tonight, I just want to see if there's any like surprises. Like maybe they say that suddenly Cunha's injured or potentially Bruno Fernandes is with the squad. I mean, something ridiculous like that. Let's just see what happens. Calvin says, Merry Christmas and good luck. Thank you to you too, brother. Can't afford Cunha, 7.4 options. If you can't afford Cunha, damn, I might just play Rodon then. If you can't afford Cunha this week, I might just play Rodon. Let's see who's around that price bracket that I think could be worth it. I mean, you could go for like a Mason Mount, but I don't know. Do you have Declan Rice already? He's okay, but I think I might just actually play Rodon. But if you really want to make a transfer, I do like Gordon, as long as you're prepared for potentially early subs, that sort of thing. But I think Gordon is probably the player I would look at there. So if you already have Rice, don't like Rice, then I think Gordon looks pretty good. Thoughts on Cherky to Cunha for a hit? I think I would probably not do that because I think Cherky plays. I can go and check a projected lineup for you. Let me just see if I can find Man City. Okay, Man City, Cherky. I would just keep Cherky. He's gonna play. The people have been asking this. Okay, I don't see any early. I don't see any early team sheet news at the moment. I doubt we actually get any. Have Rice and Casemiro already as my United option, but willing to sell. Okay, that's fine. Then just go for someone like a Gordon. He should be okay. Would you get rid of Enzo? So the Chelsea fixtures, I think around game week. The Chelsea fixtures in a few weeks' time get really good. I think I'd probably sell Enzo though, but game week 34. So you want Enzo game week 34, but that's quite a long time. Best freer team. Okay, I'm going to flash back to this one quickly for you. This is the freer team I would go for. It's Tarkowski, Keane, Frimpong, and then it's all the 5 midfielders, Haaland, Ekitike, and then Raya. You can change this around as you please if you want to pick for that sort of thing, but I'll leave this up for 2 more minutes just for you. But probably the last time I do show this. So Desh saying, what's the plan? It's a -4 for, it's going to be a -4 for Cunha in for Bruno. Do you like Bruno plus Richards out for Cunha and Chalobah? Those moves look fine, but I might not go for Chalobah. I might go for a Tarkowski, that sort of thing instead, if you don't own. Start Wilson or Klein. I would start Wilson and hope that he plays. So I think Wilson, for me, it's the sort of player where he's either going to start or he's going to be out of the squad. So I wouldn't be worried about him not coming off the bench, that sort of thing. Would you captain Ekitike over Haaland? I'm tempted, but I don't know if I have enough in me. Because I'm at this tough spot, because everyone says, like, if you have a bad rank, you should go differential. But let's just take last week, for example. Imagine you didn't captain Erling Haaland and you went differential for like a Saka or someone like that. And then Haaland gets like a 16-pointer, 13-pointer, and then Saka blanks. You're going to go down more, you know. It's almost like going against Haaland is where there's really nothing to lose. But at this stage of the season, there could still be something to lose, I guess. Maybe if the Liverpool attack was a bit more secure. With all these injuries, I'm a bit worried. And for example, with Szoboszlai out, how's that going to affect the team? He's a pretty integral part. So I'm gonna wait. Is Josh King okay on a bench boost? If not, best mids 5.8 under. Saint really unlucky that it's 5.8. I would go for Lafia or I'd go for Anderson. Yeah, and once again, guys, I do apologize. The background noise is the rain. It is it's coming down hard here, so I do apologize if I'm not coming through crispy clear. Mustafa saying, Eddie, best of luck. Thank you too. Bruno out for Palmer. I'll take a -4 and bring Cunha and Ekitike. I'd take a -4 Cunha Ekitike. Went with Richards last game week. Stick with him. Yeah, Emmanuel, just bench him. Play Rodon this week. If your team is like the same as mine, which is this, and the only difference is that instead of Lacroix, you have Richards, just play Rodon instead of Richards. That's perfectly fine. Apparently, he's going to be back next week potentially, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. Okay, Daniel, you've posted your question. You've posted your team. Do you think I should bring in Verts for captain? Okay. So you haven't gone for Ekitike, but you've gone for Verts. That's okay. Lewis Potter, Riley Tarkowski. Oh, your team looks fine. I don't know how many chances you have or how much money you have in the bank, but the team that you've posted doesn't look bad. Thoughts on Harry Wilson or Kevin for a punt? Harry Wilson might not start, so I can't recommend buying him. I can recommend keeping him, starting him, but I wouldn't buy him because of the knock potentially. I think that he should be okay, but I can never recommend buying a player that's a doubt. So maybe you can go for Kevin, but I don't know how great that Fulham game actually is. I think he's going to play. I think Wilson would play, but also think there's no reason not to start Wilson. The cheap defender options this week, like Sunderland, Leeds, they have good fixtures, so you probably have one of those players on your bench that can come off if need be. No worries, Daniel. Akash says hello. Hello to you too, Akash. Let me see if I've missed any other questions. I don't think so. Gregory asks, is it worth Bruno/Cherki for Cunha/Semenyo from -8? Or should I keep... You should keep Cherki. I would do Bruno to Cunha, but keep Cherki. In terms of projected lineups, 100% of fans are projecting him to start, so good chance he starts, and it's an okay fixture. I do like the Bruno to Cunha move, though. Let's just go check Twitter quickly to see if there's anything of note. Okay, nothing as of yet, so does look like we're not going to get early team changes. We've got 15 minutes left, 16 to be more precise. I think I'm just looking at the audio. I think that you guys can hear this rain pretty badly. So I do apologize for that one. Okay, Saliba or Virgil or someone else on a wild card. I'd go Virgil this week. I think the fixture's pretty good. On a free hit, I think I had Frimpong, but Virgil's probably the safer option if you guys do want to look at him. Can I get a freer draft? You can, just because it's you, Vernon. This was the team I selected. You can go different if you want. Frimpong's more of a punt. But this is going to be a 3-5-2 formation with Tarkowski, Keane, and Frimpong as your back three. That's going to be the selection. Then the midfield five, and then your front two of Haaland, Ekitike. If you want Bowen as a front three, that's also okay. I do like the midfield punts more though. But the free at this team is basically take a few punts on some other options, but it kind of looks similar to how your team probably would have looked with free transfers. Okay, with 15 minutes to go, I think we'll probably lock in the move with about 10 minutes to go. So that should be okay. Yeah, nothing as of yet, so we'll just wait about 4 minutes. And then, as mentioned, the plan is to do Cunha in. SH says the sound of nature, no need to apologize. I do thank you for that one. It seems to have loosened up a bit. So let's just hope that it sounds a bit better now. Hi Davey, start Virgil van Dijk or... no, not Virgil van Dijk. Van der Ven or Minter, thanks. Maybe Van der Ven. Crystal Palace haven't been great from an attacking point of view. It is quite close between them though. If you think Crystal Palace score, then I think you just chance Minter. But Keith, the chances you probably do have Arsenal defenders, so I never like sort of playing them against each other. Is it silly to get Szoboszlai in this week so that I can do Bruno, Thiago to Szoboszlai, Ekitike this week, and then Semenyo Cunha next week to avoid a -4? It's okay. It's okay, Tom, but it is a bit interesting. Let's just say that, but it's not the worst thing in the world. If you need to do it to afford that, that's fine. So obviously you can't do like what happened with me. I couldn't do Cunha in for Bruno, Thiago to Ekitike, so that is okay. Yeah, it's fine, Tom. It will look weird, but I think it's fine. It's not too bad. And as you said, you're saving yourself a -4. Szoboszlai isn't injured, he's suspended, so he'll come back next week. That's fine. Richard instead of Leclerc, rest of the team, same do you recommending? So Kash, no. If you guys have that situation, so same team as me, let's just put my team back, sorry. If your team looks like this, and then you have Richards instead of Leclerc, it's 100% fine. Just play Rodon instead of Richards. That's simple. You will be okay for this week, don't worry. I traded Bruno for Rice, and now I have 2.8 in the bank. I can go Wilson to Cunha Verts. Should I do it? I mean, I like the punt. I like the Cunha move, because I think you want him next week anyways. And this week, with Wilson's doubt, I think it's fine if it's free. 100 Elements is saying, check Dominic Calvert-Lewin from Leeds stats. I will go and check his stats. Are you either saying they're really good or they're really bad? Thoughts on Grealish versus Burnley? I like him as a punt, but... I think that game is going to be pretty boring, I won't lie to you. But as I mentioned, if you are looking for a cheap midfielder as a punt on a free hit, then that's fine with me. Why Cunha not Verts? Because I want Szoboszlai next week anyways. I like Verts, but I feel like there might be some rotation coming up once all the attackers are back. And I know that he's probably going to play the majority of games, but I think Szoboszlai is a bit more secure. And because Szoboszlai is on penalties, I think it just edges it slightly. So I can do Cunha this week and Szoboszlai next week instead of going for sort of the reverse and having Verts in my team for the long term. What's the plan? The plan is to do Bruno Fernandes out for Cunha, which I will lock in. How long do we have left? Okay, I'll lock it in with 10 minutes to go. Let's say that. Yeah, no early team sheet news. Best 7 million midfielder. Okay, let's do the transfer then. So we're going to be doing Bruno Fernandes out for Cunha. And that's going to be from -4, unfortunately. Let's confirm that. Team looks okay. Let's just vice captain Ekatike, save it. Okay, and I think that's probably the team that we would look at. There could be a world where you start, where we start Dubravka, and then we play Minte, and we hope Minte scores, but I don't know, it's a bit sideways. Okay, let me just give me a second while I do post this to Discord and YouTube for people that can't join the stream. And then you guys can just get your questions in. Okay, you're talking about 100 elements that Calvert-Lewin has 44 points in the last few games. Yes, he's been absolutely insane. He is known to be a troll in FPL, but this is different level. Okay, so we have taken a -4. It's going to be a tough game week, guys, but let's see what happens. We have had an increase in people captaining Ekatike, though. So I don't know if that's because of me saying that it is close, but I don't know. So Tom's saying, yeah, 0.1 in the bank margin. Yeah, it's fine, though. But like, it makes sense to me, Tom, and I think it makes sense to you, too. It's a bit weird, you know, like bringing in a suspended player. But to me, it makes sense. Senesi to Keane for a hit now. I would go for Senesi, especially if you don't own Thiago anymore. So a lot of people are asking about Senesi out, but then they've just sold Thiago. So you're basically hoping that Thiago blanks, put 1 and 2 together, and I would just keep Senesi. I don't think it's worth a -4 this week, especially because Senesi just gets DEFCON the whole time. Play Anderson or Gay. I would go for Gay. I think that there's a chance that there could be some attacking returns here for him. Vandenberg or Wilson, always go for the attacker. I'd go for Wilson. How come Haaland over Ekatike? I kind of feel like the Liverpool fixture's better, but with the injuries that they've had in the attacking department, Soboslai being suspended, I think it's more of a wait and see just to see how they perform with that. And I think that Haaland's given us no sort of reason not to captain him. Forest have looked better, but I still feel like Man City will score against them. De Ricci, nice to see you, brother. Hopefully the festive period has been a good one. Said, should I play Robinson, Fulham, or Collins, Brentford, or Trafford, Bournemouth as a third defender? Already got Tarkowski and Timber. Okay, let me check here quick. I don't think you can see this, but don't worry. So Fulham, 25%, Brentford, 25%, Trafford, 21%. So it's between Collins and Robinson, and I think I would go for... Do you own Semenyo? If you own Semenyo, go for Robinson, but otherwise Collins. Because Collins will get DEFCON. Or should get DEFCON. I'm bench boosting. Should I replace Richards? You probably should because he's not going to play. But it depends if you think it's worth a -4. But because he's not going to play, a -4 is actually a -2, theoretically. Good luck and have fun, Davey. Thanks, Philippe. Thanks for dropping by. Hashem is saying, what do you predict for Crystal Palace Spurs game? Does Crystal Palace get... I'm expecting a clean sheet and a Lacroix Hattie. That's what I'm saying. Start Minte or Rodon. I'd probably go Rodon, Akash. I think Rodon... I think the ceiling might be a little bit higher for him versus Minte. I mean, I think Arsenal are gonna limit Brighton. Okay, I don't see any news, so I can just assume that it's probably going to be pretty similar lineups. With the bench boost, should I replace Gay? I just took a -4 for Cunha. I think this is different because I don't know how many other strikers you want to look at. I think you can look at Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin is pretty cheap if you can afford him. But yeah, you can take a 1 week punt on Calvert-Lewin, but just remember, if you therefore need another transfer to take him out, is it actually worth doing a -4? I don't know. So it's very tough on the sort of forward side of things. If it's not going to mess your team up that much, and it's okay. Is Harry Wilson fit? Should I bench? Durici, I would just play him. I think it's a sort of start or not in the squad situation. I took out Thiago for Ekitike, good choice. That's what I did, so I'm hoping. A lot of other managers, though, have done sort of a Gay up or Krippy Jr. up and had a 3 in the front line. David saying Rodon, Anderson, and VVD in defense right now. Richards and Van Heck on the bench. Worth it to bring in Keane for Richards to start him. 2 free transfers. I would just play Rodon. I think there's a fine chance there. I would be tempted, though, with the good fixtures coming up. David, how many future moves do you want to do? If there's not much in the future plan, like you're not looking to bring in a Cunha in the future, a Sobosai, that sort of thing, then I think it might be worth using one of them because you do have 2. So it would probably depend on your sort of future transfers. Was this transfer for a hit? Sadesh, it was. I've taken a -4 this week. Voltemade or Rogers on a wild card? I don't know. I think it probably... Let me check projected points for that because that's quite close. Okay, Rogers and Voltemade on the exact same amount of points. So I would just go for Rogers then because he's a midfielder. Bench Guardiola or Alderete? Help. I would bench Alderete. Just play Guardiola. He has the odd attacking return in him. And also, if you look at the clean sheet percentages, Man City are higher than Sunderland are by 2%. So very close between them, but yeah. Play 2 of Richards or Mukiele Anderson. So Richards is not going to play. I think he's confirmed out. So it's going to be Mukiele and Anderson. And Akash, I think I already answered that. Rodon. I got Voltemade up front as well. What do you think of Bruno Guimaraes? I think he's a good option. I don't think just because you have Voltemade up front, you can't go for Bruno as the double up. I would say that's fine in my opinion. Are there going to be any price rises tonight? That's one thing that I wanted to check. Yeah, there's going to be a ton of price rises, it seems. Okay, no, there won't be because all of these won't be sustained per hour. So there's only going to be a few price rises. Drops, though, it looks like Thiago is going to drop. Minte might as well, but I hope he doesn't. No worries, Jonathan. Thiago not going to play. He is going to play. He's not going to play in my FPL team, though, because I've taken him out, but he's going to play. He should be fine. Is Lewis Potter a fluke or is he any good? So the thing about him, Dorici, is that he's playing out of position. So that makes him almost like a good option. I would go there if you think Brentford have good fixtures. But yeah, as soon as Dango comes back from AFCON, I think he'll lose that forward spot. Harry saying, how's it, Davey? Had to miss the stream today. Hope you had a lovely holiday period. Can't wait for the next year, Davey. But thank you, Harry. Do appreciate it. And don't worry about missing the stream. It's all good, brother. Hopefully you're enjoying your festive period. I'm a United fan, but doubling up on Newcastle. Hopefully all goes well. Good luck to you in following since 4 seasons ago. Thank you, Rashan. Another 4-year sort of member, let's say. I do appreciate that. And I mean, I think the Newcastle United game is going to have goals in it. So at least I hope so. And let's just see if Cunha does well. But I don't think either defense is super solid. Nick Hill saying, how much money left in the bank? I've got 2.3 left in the bank now. So I can do a nice little upgrade next week. But I'm actually probably going to do a downgrade. Semenyo to Soboslai. Haaland or Ekitike triple captain. It's tough. It depends on your risk appetite. Haaland is safe. Eketike is obviously the punt. I would probably just stick it on Erling Haaland because you're on the triple captain in the first place. Jacobus is saying Merry Christmas and hope you all get big greens. But that is going to be TUPD time. Thank you, Jacobus. Do appreciate it, hopefully for you and your family as well. But that's going to be the Christmas time up, pens down. If you know, you know. Unfortunately, that's going to be the deadline. Only one fixture tonight. It's going to be a bit of a slow burner until tomorrow where we have every single game basically on Saturday. But the game week's going to happen thick and fast. As mentioned, we basically have a game week this week. Then game week 19 happens on Tuesday. Then game week 20 happens on Saturday. Then another Tuesday deadline. Then we have a bit of a break. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 game weeks within the next 2 weeks basically. So it's going to be insane. Let's hope that we do get a few green arrows, but I'm going to let you guys get back to your Boxing Day. It is a bit late here. So thank you for joining me. Do appreciate the support. And I'll see you guys shortly because game week 19 is just around the corner. So for the time being, I'm signing off, but I will be seeing you guys obviously in the future videos and on Discord as well as Twitter. Let's hope for the green arrow. But for the time being, I'm signing off with Navy FPL and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.